Hello everyone, my name is Thomas, and welcome back to another episode of Dane-ish, the series where I'm bringing you alongside me to witness the ups and downs of moving to Denmark and exploring Europe. So we have a lot to talk about, so let's get right into it. Now, I hinted in the first episode that I wasn't feeling well. Well, I actually wasn't. I thought I had COVID, but thankfully the test was negative, and that's the only time I ever want to be negative as a person. I had a lung infection, so it lasted about 2 or 3 weeks, and that really made it tough to get comfortable in my apartment because I moved into the apartment as soon as I got sick pretty well. I just came back from Germany, and the next day I moved into my apartment, and then it just went downhill after that. But thankfully I'm feeling better now, and I am enjoying life here in my apartment, which I've made it quite cozy actually. So a few life updates. Work-wise, it's been going really well. I'm starting to get into a groove. I've been so thankful that a lot of my coworkers have been nice to me and just helping me out by giving me tips, because this is the first time I've really worked in a restaurant before. The dishwashing job I love because I can just hyper focus on what I'm doing and just, zone out. Most of the time people have to say my name twice because I'm in a zone, and to be honest, there's a lot of Danish being spoken around me, so until I'm essentially yelled at, that's when I know people are talking to me. But overall, things are great. I'm working 4 days a week, so it's enough to pay rent, and then I can also enjoy my time exploring different parts of Denmark and the rest of Europe. And one of the biggest news articles of this whole month was I finally got my CPR number. Now, the CPR number is an identification number. In Canada, we have our SIN number. Here they have CPR number. It's essentially a way of just identifying you as a person. So I finally got my ID card and my CPR number, and my number is, just kidding, don't ever give out your personal information. So I have that finished, and I had a hard time getting the MIT ID, which is like an online version of your identification. It's essentially a way of validating yourself through online systems. It took a lot for me to finally get onto it, but I went to the job center and it was just 5 minutes, all set up. So now I just have to fight to get a bank account open. It's actually been quite hard. I'm going through one bank and I have to apply online. So now I have all of my paperwork in line. I just have to apply, and hopefully soon I'll be able to get a bank account so I can get paid so I can pay rent. Just kidding, I still have money saved away for rent, so I'm not going to be homeless, Mom and Dad. Don't worry about that. But life has been great here, and I've been so thankful for the people in Svendborg that have really helped me out, especially Tobias, Silga, and Tobias's mom and stepdad. This was really sweet of them. They invited me over to Tobias and Silga's place on the last day of November, and they brought over 3 big bags just full of gifts. It was like Santa showed up. They said that these were Advent gifts. Now, Advent isn't as huge back home compared to here in Europe, but it's a really big deal here. With these Advent gifts, they're just small little gifts that you can open every day. Each one's numbered 1 till 24 because here they celebrate on the 24th. And it was really sweet of them to do that for me. And they essentially said they've adopted me, so they're my Danish family. But yeah, the first day they gave me an actual Advent calendar with chocolates in it. And every day I wake up and just eat chocolate right off the bat because, that's how you do things as an adult. But yeah, it's been really cool to open up these little gifts every day. It's really thoughtful, and I can't wait to celebrate Christmas with them. They talked about their traditions that they have in their family, and I can't wait to witness it. It's going to be so cool. Of course, I'm going to miss back home, and I wish they could celebrate too. But maybe I can bring some of these traditions back home so that, a little switch up once in a while doesn't hurt. So that's pretty much what's going on in life. Let's talk about travel, because I've done quite a bit of traveling actually since the last video. Now, like I said before I got sick, I went to Hannover and Hamburg in Germany. And one of the very interesting moments of this trip actually happened before I even got to Germany. I was taking a train from here in Svendborg, and I was heading to Hannover. And I didn't realize that in Germany, you have to wear a mask in public transportation, in hospitals, and in like other health organizations or something. I don't know. But anyways, I took my mask out of my pocket 2 days before I left for Germany. So I had to buy a mask on the train and then wear it during the transportation. It's a little reminder that, we can't shake that you-know-what from the past. But anyways, Hannover, such a beautiful city. It's more rustic and more older looking than other cities that I've been to, like Hamburg or Munich. But it was just so beautiful to walk down the streets, looking at this old architecture, these wooden style buildings. There was one place in particular, I'll put the video here. It was this beautiful view from the river that goes through the city. I actually pinned it on my map because it was just that memorable. And someday when I go back to Hannover, I'll know exactly where to go to get one of the best views. And finally, I had a chance to meet one of my good friends from online. Her name is Ada, and she's from Western Poland, but went to Hannover to visit her boyfriend, Matus, who lives there. And it was cool to talk to each other and learn more about each other's cultures, because you have a Polish, a German, and a Canadian sitting at a table. After Hannover, I went up north to go visit my friend Celia in Hamburg, one of the most beautiful cities in all of Germany, in my opinion. Hamburg has just this beautiful skyline. The architecture is very beautiful, very modern. But you also have some older style architecture as well. Then at the end of November, I went to Trondheim, Norway, to go see one of my best friends from online, Bridget. I haven't seen her in 6 years, so I thought, you know what, it's well overdue, so let's go there. Now, as we're landing into Trondheim, we're going around the lake that Trondheim is on, and we start hitting turbulence. And at this point, I know my motion sickness is not going to do very good. So I start getting the sweats. I feel like I'm turning white as a ghost, and I feel nauseous, and I feel like I'm about to throw up. And then we finally land, and I thought, oh God, I thought I was going to hit the evacuation button and get out of here. But thankfully everything went well. I had a great time looking around the city of Trondheim to be able to explore this beautiful city that has a really beautiful cathedral as well. It's one of the most favorite landmarks that I've seen. But also having a chance to hang out with her, meeting her boyfriend Ragnar. We did the language challenge together, which was hilarious. You should definitely check that out, as I poorly try to speak Norwegian. But we also had a chance to do some hiking as well. They knew this really cool place that was near their home, which was up on a hill. And I mean, all of Norway is essentially on a hill. But it was such a cool point of looking at the city and enjoying a nice meal together on top of this hill. We also checked out the castle as well, which is kind of like in the middle of the city, but you can still see like the skyline. It was really cool. And finally, Berlin. It was so cool to witness a lot of these historical landmarks, right? Like the Berlin Wall, which was so cool for me because I love World War II history. One of the other most memorable points was the Holocaust Monument, which is these big pillars made of concrete, and you're just walking through them, and the ground is kind of in a wave. It made you have this feeling like, I can't really describe it, but it was so cool to witness it. But also, too, I got to check out some other landmarks like the Soviet Monument, Brandenburg, Checkpoint Charlie, which was pretty cool. It's just so cool to be able to do these things affordably, because if I did it from Canada, it would cost so much. So at least here, you can get there pretty cheap and again get to see some of my friends, which is great. Now I don't know what the rest of the winter has in store. I've noticed, especially after Berlin, I don't like traveling in the cold. So of course I'm going to Finland in January, but anyways, I know that once the summertime comes around, that's when the weather's going to be better and I'll be out there exploring. It's going to be great. But with that all being said, you're updated. This is how November and the start of December has been. So that's a wrap on Dane-ish, and I hope that you enjoyed. And really, the main goal, again, is to take you along with me and see the world through my eyes as I take you through Denmark, Europe, and the rest of the world. And you know, that means so much to me. So this is Thomas signing off. Please stay safe, and I'll see you on the next episode of Dane-ish. Bye-bye.